Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today I'll share with you how I made this little lollipop flower container as well as the lollipop flowers. The container is made from a recycled soup can and the lollipops are made from the 2010-2012 Patterns Paper Designer Paper Series pack. And when you pull out your little flowers, on the back of it's a springtime lollipop. So let's get started making our little project. The images of Island Floral look like this, and what I did is I used the designer paper cut to 5 by 3.5, and you can run 2 layers through at once. So I did that first with the Poppy Parade for the flowers in this example, and then the Pear Pizzazz with the green. So 2 different runs with the colors, but you can run 2 layers at a time so that you can get multiple images. So our flowers cannot be any easier to make. What I started with is I went ahead and layered up my flowers, and you can use either side, whichever type of patterns that you want, and at the end of the video I'll do a close-up of all of my different designs so that you can see the options. And so I like alternating them just about as much as anything. Okay, so that's going to be my layers, and I'm going to take one of my assorted brads, and any of these tones look great. These are neutrals. Maybe I'll pick a well, I guess whichever one I pick will work. I've got a black one. Just as a random draw, we'll see we used a black. So I'm going to just start layering my flower petals here from Island Floral, alternating the colors. And again, they're two-sided, the paper's double-sided, and so with the pattern, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1 on the paper there. Okay, so that's how it looks just flat. I'll show you again some different examples on the backing too that I used. Now I'm going to put the tri-leaf behind it, and I'll go ahead and open my brad at this point. And if you like the flat look, you know, you're all set and ready to glue it onto your lollipop. But what I found that I like is I like bringing the petals in towards the brad. And, you know, you can smush it up as much as you like. I start out by, you know, giving it a pretty good smush. And that is an official name of a technique, a smush. Oh, goodness. And you can even smush up the leaves. So everything comes in towards the brad. And then you can go ahead and start pulling apart your petals and your leaves until you get the look that you like. So it doesn't take much to get a super cute little look. Oh, look how cute that is. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so then I've got my lollipop. These are just some Easter ones that I found at the grocery store. Just a bag of Easter lollipops. And I'm going to go ahead and take Tombow. You could also use, I think you could use a dimensional just fine too. I happen to have Tombow out when I started to work with these. Okay, so I'll kind of press that on, and then you would want to let it dry. And I put it on so that the back side of it you could see the design on the lollipop. Okay, so I would let that one dry before I mess with it. So some other options to, just so that you can see the different combinations and some of the things that I, you know, played with as far as the patterns. You know, that's just obviously using the smaller petal on it. Here's one that's more flat. You know, again, all sorts of different tones, and just like in nature, each of the flowers are a little different. Here's another flat one, and for the petals on that, I used the single petal and put it on the back. And then another option that I did is instead of putting the tri-petal behind it, you know, all as one unit, I put it on the back side of it, so the lollipop is sandwiched in between. But I don't like this little hole showing there, and so what you could do is put a punch to cover it, and I'm going to not finish this one just off yet because I'll probably do a little to and from stamp and layer it and then adhere it onto the back for a finished look. Okay, so that's the suckers. How I made the little pot that our little lollipop flowers are going to go in is I took a soup can, rinsed it out, put florist foam down there so that our lollipops will have a little place to rest. And I cut some more of our designer paper, the Pear Pizzazz. This is cut at 9 inches to go around, 5 inches high. And the can isn't quite 5 inches high, but I wanted to try to give the illusion of grass around it where our little flowers will be. And so I took five of the different lollipops to put around the border, and to keep them on, I'm using sticky strip. So I went ahead and divided it into fifths, and I already got this started because, as we know, sometimes sticky strip is hard to get started. And I have my fifth flower is a combination of all of them. And I'll just go ahead and put that on. And you'll see my finished creation. It will have some whisper white ribbon tied around the little stems. Then it's just a matter of taking our flowers and we'll go ahead and we'll make our arrangement. So I have 5 around, and I want to put maybe 5 or however many lollipops that come in your bag into our little arrangement, and you just keep going until you fill it up with lollipops. I hope you enjoy our little project today. Happy crafting! Bye-bye!